Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with our series, 4 weeks of famous philosophers. In this video, we are going to be looking at Plato himself. Plato, the first academic, inventor of the forms, and founder of all Western philosophy. Now, the influence of Plato on Western society and Western thought cannot be understated. Alfred North Whitehead famously claimed that the safest general characterization of the European philosophical tradition is that it consists of a series of footnotes to Plato. Basically saying that everything in Western philosophy or European philosophy has just been a set of footnotes to the work that Plato did. His expansive work addresses most, if not all, of the general topics studied by philosophy. Where Socrates was known for his deeds, actions, and temperament, Plato was known for his ideas and writings. If Socrates showed us a way to live, Plato told us what to think. Plato was the son of one of the wealthiest families in Athens. He studied under Socrates, but left Athens to travel around the Mediterranean after the trial. When he returned to Athens, he founded the first recorded institute of higher education, the Academy. Plato had many revolutionary ideas. One of the most important and iconic was his theory of the forms. According to Plato, all individual, particular, concrete objects are imperfect copies of perfect forms of those objects. We see imperfect trees, which are simply kind of shadows of that perfect form of tree. Plato explains this idea with his famous allegory of the cave. Simply, Plato asks us to imagine prisoners chained in a cave where they can only see one wall, where the shadows of objects that pass in front of a fire are all they can see. So they can't see the objects, they can't see the fire. All they can see are those shadows dimly reflected on the wall. And the only thing they can hear are echoes of the voices of the people that are moving those objects across in front of the fire. They basically can only see kind of these shadow puppets on a wall. But they think that the shadows are the real things and are the only real things that exist in the world. And that the sounds actually come from those shadows, not from the people that are moving those things around. Only by moving out of the cave can we come into contact with the true, perfect reality, where the actual objects really exist and we can see them clearly in the light of the sun. The world of pure reason is that world, and this is the world of the forms. Now, in search of the perfect form of society and government, Plato wrote The Republic. In this, he envisions a society where everyone uses the skills that they have for the benefit of that society. It was ruled by philosopher kings because, according to Plato, democracy put too much faith in the common man to rule. At its best, the Republic represents a utopian society ruled by reason. At its worst, it envisions a totalitarian state with little regard for personal freedom or choice. Not only did Plato's works influence the works of his most famous student Aristotle, and arguably most, if not all, of Western philosophers, he had a profound influence on the theology of Christianity. For example, his idea of forms was the inspiration for the doctrine that man was made in the image of some perfect form of man, or God. And Nietzsche famously chided Christianity as simply being Platonism for the masses. Had he written nothing and merely been the student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle, Plato would be extremely worthy of note. As it is, he is arguably the most influential philosopher of all time. Therefore, I give you Plato, the first academic, inventor of the forms, and founder of all Western philosophy. Up next, we are going to be looking at Aristotle, the most famous student of Plato. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.